He is fair.
He's fair. I talked with Mr. Slide a lot of times. The values I see in Mr. Slide, that he's very kind and nice and fair to people. My name is Paola, and this is Mr. Slide, our principal in Storm Lake Middle School.
I really enjoy working with young people. I thought I could make a difference in their lives, and as I got into teaching, you don't get to work with all the students in the school. You only get to work with a certain percent of them. I thought that I could do a greater good and work with more students and impact more students if I became a principal, because now I get to work with every single teacher who works with every single student in the building, so I can touch more lives that way, I believe.
What is social justice to you?
When you look at the word justice, you think fairness and equality. And if you throw the word social in there, I think we're looking at fairness and equality for everyone, no matter what your social status is or where you come from. In education, one of the things that you will always hear educators talk about, and it doesn't matter what level, but as you move up through the levels, it becomes more apparent. You'll hear people say, we need to be preparing students for the real world. And I tell people this all the time. Storm Lake is the real world. When you are in Storm Lake, you get exposed to many different cultures, many different people from ethnic backgrounds. This is the real world. Wherever you go to college at, there's going to be diversity. If you choose to live in a big city, there's going to be diversity. This is preparing students for the real world, in my opinion, with the diversity that we have. I know that there's always people in the building that know that there might be some students that need a little extra help. Maybe they're not getting the support from home that they need. Maybe they need an essential to live that they're not getting. We have people that step up all the time and provide those needs for students.
I see Officer Bauer often, once or twice a day. I think Officer Bauer works really hard because he has all this nonsense going on. My name's Chom, and I'm interviewing Officer Bauer. What inspired you to become a police officer?
What inspired me? All throughout high school, I thought about being a police officer. I've always looked up to them. Kind of wanted to help people out, things like that. Make my town a better place. So that's the path I chose. I went to college and got hired on here at Storm Lake, and I've enjoyed it ever since. In my job, you see the highs and the lows of ethnicity. One day you might deal with someone that knows nothing about America and how things work here, and the next day you might deal with upper class citizen, and both of them may be for the same reason. I see it from both sides, you have to treat them differently because they don't have the same backgrounds. So it's a difficult job, but I think it's something that's necessary for me to do. You can't treat the Sudanese parent different than the Hispanic parent, different than the Caucasian parents, because you might have to go about it a different way because they all have different concepts of the police department or the school. So you have to work with them differently, but you have to treat them all fairly. It just may be a different way that you interact with them to get that point across. Diversity is huge. Education, obviously, everyone learns differently, so they have to teach. They may teach a class a certain way, but they may have to mold it to how that each ethnicity is going to learn best. So they may, change it a little bit based on the student, their background.
I can think of just this past Christmas. There was a student that wanted to get some Christmas presents for his brothers and sisters and family, and we helped them out. And while I think that just goes to show that we understand that students have needs. We understand that their families, for whatever reason, may not be able to meet them. So we try to give every student that feeling that we are treating them equally.
At the police department, it's a very diverse community, so I get to interact with all different ethnicities in the police department.
How is diversity appealing in education?
I think one of the things that Storm Lake does is it exposes students to different cultures, and we get to celebrate that. And we have our flags out here in the commons, so that shows where students, all of the different countries that students might come from, and we need to add to that list. I think at last count we have 18 or 19 different countries that students come from.
Not everyone's going to learn the same way. Not everyone's going to take what you tell them the same way. So you got to go back and switch it up maybe, or figure out which way they learn the best, so that you can achieve the same thing for each ethnicity.
But it's really something in education that is valuable to students. It's valuable to the teachers, and it's valuable to me. We enjoy learning about the different cultures as much as anyone, I think. So it definitely needs to be celebrated, and it is very, very valuable to teach students about the real world and what they might be getting into when they leave this place.
All right.